You got to get that engine in there. It's just too pretty not to be in. I mean, look at that. Nice. Something something XR2 SuperCoupe. Hi, thanks for tuning in to DTF Garage. This is part 2 of our XR2 SuperCoupe build. This is my 2000 Ford Focus ZX3 dubbed Project XR2 SuperCoupe. The XR2 pays homage to the original XR2 Fiesta over in Europe. It was a sporty little Fiesta hatchback that they had there. And of course the SuperCoupe paying homage to the supercharger that we have going on the vehicle from a Thunderbird SuperCoupe. Now some people may be wondering, Brad, why are you calling it an XR2? The Focus replaced the Escort, not the Fiesta, and the Escort was an XR3. Well, that is true, folks. Well, that is true. The Focus did replace the Escort in the early 2000s. However, the Escort XR3 has more of a flat deck lid, as the XR2 Fiesta was more of a hatchback, which is much similar to the ZX3 Focus. They also had the XR4 Sierra, but that was more of a mid-size car, not a compact car. Now this car will be paying homage to the XR2 Fiesta in more than just a badge on the back of the car. The XR2 Fiesta did have a black mid-wing spoiler on the back of the hatchback, and the XR2 Fiesta also had big fog lights on the front. This is getting a mid-wing. It was a Ford accessories option back in the mid-2000s, and it is getting a big old Kaminari spoiler on the top of the rear hatch as well. For the fog lights, I have an RS Collections replica bumper, so the fog lights will not be in front of the grille like they were on the XR2 Fiesta. They will be down lower, but it does have those nice big fog lights to complement the car. Now, in terms of relation to the Escort, I am using an intake manifold from a 1.8 liter XR3i Escort Zetec engine. This intake manifold is unique in the way that it wraps up and over the valve cover, which frees up a lot of room underneath the intake for my engine. The reason I chose this intake is not because it necessarily flows better than the regular 2-liter plastic intake, but it allows room underneath it for me to mount my supercharger and kind of have it hidden. It'll still be visible, but it'll allow me to keep it underneath the hood and will be somewhat concealed in the engine bay. I gotta stop saying God damn. Stop saying Stop saying Stop saying Stop saying Well, as you saw in our last episode, we had a little bit of an issue with the SVT header that I was planning on using on this 2-liter Zetec here. Well, unfortunately, this header I was planning on using on this car is not going to work. This is a SVT header that I was going to use for this car, which is actually the best flowing header that you can get for the Zetec engine. This was developed by Cosworth for Ford for use on the SVT. And it's the best flowing one out there. No aftermarket header has actually been able to beat the flow of the SVT header. And I really liked it because these primaries jut back here, and so I was going to cut those off and send the exhausts off to the back. But unfortunately, the mounting plate that is right behind these, where I was going to build my motor mounts to make the engine fit, the header is in the way. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use that. I'm probably going to have to make something custom for this to work. I did get some goodies imported from Burton Power over in Europe, so we're going to go ahead and get those put on, as well as some big ol' RS brakes, because I got some stopping power up my sleeves in this car. If you're going to go fast, you got to stop fast too. Now this is a really nice kit here. This is a water rail made for the Zetec by Retro Ford. The Zetec engine has a water outlet on the back side, which is fine for a front-wheel drive vehicle, but not so convenient when swapping to rear-wheel drive. So this reroutes the water outlet towards the front of the engine so I can easily attach a radiator hose. So the thermostat goes in this portion here, and I don't know if it makes a difference, but I know water is going to be flowing in from the side, so I moved these braces here to the top and bottom so there wasn't any interference with the water. Again, I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference, but better safe than sorry. So this mounts to the back of the engine here, and then the water comes through. Thermostat sits here, which is nice because this is now off to the side of the engine, which is pretty easy to replace if I do have to go to replace the thermostat, and then goes through this pipe at the front to the front of the engine. This sits right above the header on the driver's side. And this here is a long tube header made for a rear-wheel drive Zetec. This is made by Ashley Performance Exhaust. Now this is designed to fit a Mark 1 and a Mark 2 Escort. So we will see how it does in the Focus. I'm probably going to have to do some trimming, but we'll see how that goes. This is at least going to get me a good start as this pulls away from the alternator that is now on the front of the engine, as well as giving me room to make an engine mount for that left side of the engine. Now you may be thinking right now, Brad, shouldn't you be putting an exhaust manifold gasket on? Well, you wouldn't be wrong. And if you were paying attention, you probably also noticed that I only put 3 bolts on the exhaust manifold. I'm sure this isn't the last time that I will be bolting that on. I'm sure it will be coming on and off many times as I get the motor mounts and everything figured out. As all of this comes together. So I'm not going to waste an exhaust manifold on that right now. All right. Well, ran into a little bit of a snag here. Apparently I won't be able to finish putting this on until I actually get this engine hoist off, because this bolt is in the way of where this sensor is. So we will return to install that. Thanks for watching DTF. Please stay tuned for future episodes as we figure out how to mount the supercharger to this engine here. I make a mounting plate for that. After I get that figured out, we'll be making engine mounts to actually strap this thing to the chassis. Once I get that figured out, we've got the Volvo rear end we need to put in the back. I've got an Escape fuel tank out of a 2017 Escape to accommodate for the drive line going through the vehicle. And then after that, we are pretty close to being done, and this should be up and running hopefully by this summer. Thanks for watching DTF Garage. My name's Brad. Stay boosted. Am I right? I think I'm right. I think you know I'm right, because you know that I'm right. Ooh, stay boosted! It's my catchphrase now. Remember, stay boosted, always stay boosted.